Hello, Kargoz.
Hello there.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? First off, happy holidays. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing so good, man. Happy
Good.
holidays.
Good. All right, brother. I would love to hear your story. So hardcore's been going on for 10 months, but you got it. Oh, hang on. I got a buff. There you go. Yeah, a little hardcore living right there. Hardcore community buffing each other like crazy, by the way. So what inspired you to do the hardcore? What was the click that made you go, yes, we need to invest time and resources into doing this?
You know the term grassroots is
Yeah.
pretty much, I've seen communities that have developed that have been called grassroots. Like one that comes to mind is the Super Smash community. How people started to play 64, Brawl, Project M, and it was very grassroots to come up to that being, at Evo and all that. That's one grassroots community. With hardcore, I mean, it was grassroots to the very core. I mean, it literally all started. The genesis of it was just being bored one night and was like, you know what, let's try to make some content here. Let's try to think of what we can do. I'd heard of the Iron Man challenge for, a couple years, but never really been interested in that whole type of special challenge mode, anything really ever. So we tried it one night, with the stream. And we all just pretty much immediately realized, yo, this is so legit. Everything changes a lot more than you think. That's pretty much the start of it, man. But then we didn't really abide by the Iron Man rule set because we didn't really know what it was. I just thought it was, you can't die. So the Iron Man folks, who they have a community as well, they started to come in the stream and they're like, yo, you can't be calling it Iron Man. You're not doing Iron Man. This is scuff. Like you're ruining this. Like this has been a thing for a while. But it's a blessing looking back on it because we're like, okay, like got it. Even the person who runs the WoW challenges site hit me up, who's the guy, I guess, who started Iron Man or made it a big thing, and he was like, yeah, man, maybe you should just try to call it something different. We'd really appreciate it. We're working with Blizzard, we're trying to get API support and all this. And I was like, all right, no problem.
Fair enough. Sure.
So then the chat just really came up with it. They were like, yo, Diablo does hardcore. What about class? What about hardcore? And I love hardcore Diablo. And that's pretty much it. Just happened from there.
It's frankly, it's beautiful, right? It's just one of those things like watching you play it. I'll make a comment, then I'll ask you another question, right? So, just watching you play it and then watching Kevin play it, it's one of those things where it's so simple at its core, but it's just so brilliant too, right? Like, I mean, this is a 15-year-old game, dude. And again, not to blow smoke up your ass to call it sunshine, it's a whole new world of discovery in a 15-year-old game. How can you not be? How can you not be excited about that? That's at least what I got to say about people who might be on the fence. So
for sure,
yeah. So let me ask you this: what were you doing before this? Right? I've heard tales of you doing AOE paladin shit, which is already like +1 as far as I'm concerned. Because I love the paladin. But what was your history before that? How did you find yourself in the position that you find yourself today, sir?
I was initially just like a video maker on YouTube, and I was always kind of like salty and kind of low-key jelly, like, oh man, streaming sounds so awesome. I could never do it though, like I'm just here making videos and getting a few views here and there, and I don't know, I never thought I'd be able to make the switch into streaming, but just pretty much during the demo of Classic, if you remember that. That was like my first stream pretty much. Maybe there was a one or two before then, but it was pretty much then just started streaming. And I pretty much, you said I have a slick operation, which is funny because for the first, year, I just had the most unstable, janky stream and everything was going wrong every day. It's become kind of like a cultural thing on my channel. Like every Good Morning Azeroth show that has to have something horribly dysfunctional about it in the first couple minutes.
I feel you.
There's one thing you said about it that stuck with me. I've said it about 20 times now on stream because I love it. I honestly love it so much. I think it should be like etched into some stone tablet somewhere. You said where discovery ends, mastery takes over.
Yeah.
That is the most 9 million IQ statement. Like it actually sits and marinates in my mind for weeks now. And I think to myself, there's two types of content too, right? Like some people might enjoy discovery, where you watch people enjoy an experience for the first time, or you see an experience for the first time. And some people, that might be their perfect cup of tea. But the other side is watching mastery, watching someone who's mastered the content and execute a plan with incredible finesse and I actually enjoyed the mastery content more, like me watching a speedrunner like Ampi or Tactics in Action just cranking on all cylinders, where they know every variable. That, generally speaking, is more appealing content to me. And it goes to the question, because I get asked a lot in the stream, like, don't you get tired of playing this same game, doing the same quests? For me, yes, of course, there's a bit of fatigue there. Like, it's only natural, but there's nothing wrong with playing a static game. And this world that you guys built so many years ago, it's incredible. I mean, it's the best game ever made, and it's almost like it's defending itself against all the modern technology. Like we've tried to break it.
I understand that. Yeah,
we've tried to break it, and people have come close to breaking it, maybe, but it still holds up, man. Even through the multi-boxing, even through everything, the game is still good, and there's still secrets that you learn every day.
I have to admit, in a million years, I would never have guessed that this game gets relaunched and is basically, if you were to take this game, in my honest opinion, dude, if you were to take this game and have it secede from Blizzard, this is probably the third, maybe fourth biggest MMORPG on the market right now. And it's a proven market at this point, right? I think a testament to the community that gets drawn into this are these ideas of coming up with, like, I'm not sure what the Iron Man community is about, but I mean, I certainly know what the fucking hardcore community is about, right? And it pulls in a cross section of people, right? It's not like, oh shit, hang on, I'm fighting a +1 here. Hang on, we're good. I think we're good.
So that resist on the Nova versus the board.
No. To me, it feels like it's a genuine cross-section of people who love this game from all aspects, right? Like, you've got your speedrunners, you got people like me, right? Like, doing a lot of hit you in the feels, reminiscing, oh, look at the game developer play his game. But you've got the whole wide gamut, whereas it feels like, at least with a lot of newer MMORPGs, they're already kind of in this niche, right? Like, you take a look at retail, and not to bag on retail necessarily, but there's like 3 or 4 styles of play of like types of players that really thrive in that environment. I just think you got your finger on the pulse of something magical here, brother. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really takes a village to do anything, right? Like, so before all this, I was just a bit of a serial entrepreneur, for better or for worse. 90% of the time for worse, failed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I had like 1 win under my belt under this, but one thing that was illuminative about being like an entrepreneur and trying to build stuff, first of all, it's so rewarding seeing something go from like an idea into something that can affect people's lives. And but I do think like there's only a few times in one's life in the IRL hardcore challenge that you get stuff that just works and the stars align and you get the right group of people. I think you guys nailed it with Classic WoW. Like, looking back on it, like, that was just probably some magical, amazing RNG that all these brilliant, passionate people came together. Like, I almost feel the same way about hardcore. Like, we just got so lucky, pretty much timing, and you just basically just enjoy it while we can, because you never know when stuff is gonna wind down. But it really is a beautiful thing, man. It's touching.
How goes it? Like where do you so let's get to that second part then that I was kind of asking about, right? Like, where do you think hardcore is going to go in 2021? To me, right? Like, in my mind, it would, if you get a champion on the inside, things really start to take off. Do you see a lot of the grassroots things going on, or do you do you think that Blizzard's going to stop and maybe take notice?
Yeah, so I can't say too much.
Fair enough. Understood.
Secrecy, but I want to say something, man. And let me just tell you this: like, ask me a week ago, I would have said there's no shot in hell Blizzard would ever take notice.
Yeah.
Literally no chance. Like, we're just too small. But there's a glimmer of hope, man. Let me just put it that way. There's a faint glimmer of hope that maybe we can get some Blizzard support here. That's all I can say for now. But without Blizzard support, even, like, we just have a tight team. When you have a strong team, you can literally do anything. Like, all of us could come together and sell shoes and be successful at that. If you just have a nice group of people that supports each other and and does all that. So the sky's the limit. We have that right now. Where
Right,
you know,
right.
plan for 2021 is just a continuous slate of content from dungeon speed runs to quarterly cups, where that'll be more like the leveling side of things. Jamin did a great job with the PvP stuff, so he might do like quarterly PvP type stuff.
Oh, that would be fun as F. Yeah, totally.
And TBC has a meta of leveling that's really like unexplored and stuff. You know, just because people think of TBC not really for its leveling, like they think of it for the massive slew of endgame content you can do. So there could be a lot to to tack into there. But yeah, that'll much.
That's wonderful. Let me get caught up on a little stream shit here. First off, thank you, Bad Gorilla. Thank you, Big Al, for the follows. Very much appreciated. Caligula says this community raised nearly $10,000 for cancer. By the way, dude, we fucking raised $10,000 for cancer.
It's beautiful, man.
Fucking A. Started a harebrained idea, and look at that. Look what we have now. Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time, dude. First off, again, thank you very much for being the tip of the spear, right here, making sure that we have a chance to really go to really see this take off as it's so richly deserved. But that's great to hear. I mean, like, seriously, the fact that you might have the fact that I'm excited about the things that you can't say right now is very, very good. Is very, very good.
Yeah, we'll see. It's still, you can't get too hyped for stuff in general. Like, once you get conditioned to disappointment throughout all of your years, you just learn to not get too hyped. But there is a glimmer of hope here, and we'll see what happens. I'm just, I just encourage everybody that is in the hardcore community right now to really just try to smell the roses a bit, because it's so easy. Like, it's really difficult to build any kind of community online and stuff and keep it like reasonably wholesome, but it takes about 2 milliseconds to cancel one or break one down.
That's very true.
One Reddit post away, one tweet away, you put your foot in your mouth for 1 second. So we're just trying to enjoy what we can.
Ooh, Dust Devil, hang on here. All right.
It's too far away.
Oh, I gotta get something to eat. All right, let me sit down here. Oh, there you go. So we're out here. Just to give everyone here, we're talking with Kargoz, and it's a pleasure to talk with him. We're sitting out here in Westfall, trying not to get killed, beating down on these greater flesh rippers here with our mage. So what's been the most enjoyable class for you in hardcore to level up to date? And if someone is trying to get into hardcore, is there a class that you would specifically recommend for them to try out first?
Yeah, it depends on their experience level with the game, but I would say there are some people out there, some sweaties who play at the highest, play at the highest end of, at the highest end of the spectrum, right? And they may look at this challenge and think, a bunch of dad gamers coming together playing this. Imagine leveling being content, all this. Like they honestly may think that, from the outside looking in. But I promise them, it actually is really tough, because it's just such a long slash play to get to the finish line. And for those people, I would say, okay, do it on Warrior. Warrior to me is like leveling a Warrior in Classic, like if you know what you're doing versus if you're a new player, it's the biggest difference. Like, it's the biggest black and white, right? Like, if you're a new player, you don't know about weapon progression, and you haven't been playing the game for a zillion years, you're gonna have like a horrendous time, think the class is like severely gimped or the game is bad, and just like give up. But if you know how to play a warrior reasonably well, and know about the weapon progression, know about the questing, which ones are non-starters, which ones are good, and you put all the pieces together, it's like the ultimate test of your encyclopedic knowledge of the game. And when you do know all those factors, you know how to get Songflower, Mongoose, you get the right weapons at the right timings, you just slaughter. You do so much damage. It's so fun to watch, fun to play, because that's been at the very heart of this whole thing. Fun to watch, fun to play has been the guiding light when it comes to our rules. Anything that, if something gets brought up in the community, like, how about this? Like, the whole mod team would just go think about it and go, does that make this more fun to watch and fun to play? Maybe in that order. But anyway.
I am super excited. I'm super excited at the prospect of where hardcore is going to go. I mean, admittedly, right now we've got single character play, and the thing is about that, right, is that it really shines on streaming. And then you got the duo play, which is really starting to get into the idea of being able to take advantage of like two characters working together, being able to trade items back and forth, being able to kind of step it up, right? Like, a big thing about being able to step up their plays, I think, at the end of the day, right? So it gets a little more exciting. It's I mean, we do things kind of spicy here, but listen, I'm no Grays at the end of the day, right? Like, it's very much slow and steady here. I'm just rambling at this point.
No, I like it. I actually watched your gameplay a lot, man, and you have like hardcore is like the best. I don't know. I don't want to say the best, but it's such a good game mode for people like you because you actually like just normally when you play normally you play cautiously. You think things through.
Right.
You don't do like stupid stuff. You know, you have like the risk tolerance to be like extremely successful in hardcore. Like you know, you don't get too bullheaded or whatever the expression is to kill one mob or whatever. Like you know, sometimes you just call it. And you're like, nope, not happening. Like I'll come back later. You know, Grays and I would just be like, we'll just slam our heads against the desk until we either die or kill it. Like.
Oh, I have to admit, I say this a lot on stream, and maybe you've heard this. To me, in my mind, this is again, not to blow smoke up your ass to call it sunshine. This reminds me of playing in the World Series of Poker, right? This reminds me of playing in a very, at least for me, expensive poker tournament, and seeing how far I can get, right? Like, but in this particular case, there's only first prize, right? There's no prize for second. You've got to get to 60, but it's kind of that all or nothing, right? Like, all the big plays you make are going to be fantastic until that last one big play you make that gets you killed, right?
Yeah.
And it's just always. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, have you like developed intense memories about specific mobs and locations yet? That's one thing in hardcore really just do. Like,
oh yeah,
you just have so much intense memories that come from each thing because you're like hyper aware of everything that happens to you. So
fuck centaurs. That's all I gotta say. Fuck centaurs.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's right. Caligula saying Kargoz and Grays love to risk it for the biscuit. So here's my morning, just to do a little pontification for Caligula. Here's my morning. I get up. I make sure we get up. We make sure the doges are all good. I get my cup of coffee. I come upstairs. I check my email. I sit down and I immediately go to Twitch and look at this. Grays and Kargoz are doing something, and I'm entertained for the next 2 to 3 hours minimum. Right. I love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch streamers in the past too, like you don't really feel too much of an attachment to their character because you think that, oh man, this guy, I don't know. There's just some kind of disconnect there, right? When you see somebody's character, but there's something so like accessible about the hardcore rules that that this character is solo self-found. They don't have some insane amount of boosted gear, or help, or streamer privilege, or anything like that. That you just can tap into it right away. You understand the very clear objective. They can't die. You understand their situation in the world, and I think that definitely helps on the content side of things.
For sure. I don't want to keep you here too long. I didn't mean to drag you into a conversation, but it was funny. You showed up and I was like, man, just before you had gotten here, it's like I've got some questions at some point. Like I know you had asked me to be on a GMA, right? And I am whenever you're ready to go. But yeah. I didn't want to necessarily turn it on you because I wanted to ask you some stuff about this too, for whatever it's worth. Not to blow. I want to give you last word here necessarily. I mean, we can sit here and shoot the shit and whatnot, but first off, thank you for organizing this. This is fucking fantastic. I'm so glad to be a part of it. It's super exciting for me. Any last words? I don't really have a great way to end this. So, any last words?
Man, I mean, like you and Kevin are pretty much like I'm starstruck around you guys. To be honest, like it's like this game has put a roof over my head, and has just been, this whole streaming stuff is the kind of the closest thing I have to a career now. I mean, I have some other stuff. I have multiple irons in the fire, whatever the expression is, with my farm and stuff like that. But like I get more starstruck talking to you guys than if I were to see like Kim Kardashian or something. Like no joke. Like it's like these are the people that like made this like legendary best game of all time, and it just brings it full circle for me when I see you and Kevin playing it. It just like I get like butterflies. I'm like, holy shit, the people who made the game are like these are them. Like, oh, this is insane. So. Yeah, it's just it feels good, man. Just
feels good, man. I'll learn your kids' Twitch lingo here soon enough. Feels good, man. It certainly does. All right, dude.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much, Kargoz. Everyone, he may be hanging out here, but let's all give a big huzzah to our man Kargoz here, right? Seriously, the reason for the season here, ladies and gentlemen, it's Baba's fake butt that gets you going. Doyle. Doyle. Yeah, no, thank you, dude. All right,
we all cross paths. You know, if you ever need anything,
likewise.
obviously. Like,
you bet, dude. You bet, dude. In fact, not to blow smoke up your ass. I have an idea about getting an in on Blizzard. So let's communicate at some point offline.
Oh yeah,
how about that?
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
All right, cheers. Let's give it up for Kargoz, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that little mini interview we fucking finagled out of that. Clip that shit. We will clip that and ship that to YouTube right there, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Our hero Kargoz. Seriously, go watch Kargoz and Gray play. Seriously, I want to do that kind of crazy shit as soon as I get one of these bitches to 60.